You've noticed it. You haven't changed anything. Same meals, same movement, same everything, and yet the number on the scale keeps climbing. 3 pounds, then 5, then 10. And somewhere along the way, you started wondering if this is just what happens after 40. It's not. Your body didn't break. The rules changed. And once you understand what actually shifted, you can work with it instead of fighting against it. Here's what most people get wrong. They're told metabolism slows down after 40, and technically that's true, but not for the reason you think. Your metabolism isn't a single switch that flips at 40. It's not your thyroid giving up. It's not your age on a piece of paper. After 40, your body composition changes, whether you want it to or not. You lose 3 to 5% of your muscle mass every decade. That's not a maybe. That's not an if you don't exercise. That's biology. And here's why that matters more than anything else you'll hear about weight loss. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns calories just sitting there, at rest, doing nothing. Every pound of muscle you lose is a pound of calorie-burning machinery that's gone. So let's do the math. If you lose 5 pounds of muscle over a decade, and that's conservative for most women, your body is now burning between 50 and 100 fewer calories per day. At rest, doing exactly what it did before. The deficit you used to create by eating the same meals has been quietly erased. Not because you're doing anything wrong, because your engine got smaller. But here's where the story changes. That muscle loss is not inevitable. It's not permanent, and the fix isn't eating less. It's giving your body the right signals to hold on to that muscle and keep your engine running. There's one thing most women over 40 are dangerously undereating, and I mean that word dangerously. It's not water, it's not fiber, it's not leafy greens, it's protein. Here's the science. After 40, your body enters a state researchers call anabolic resistance. That's a fancy way of saying your muscles stop responding to dietary protein the way they used to. At 25, a modest amount of protein after a meal would signal your body, keep the muscle, we're using it. After 40, that same amount of protein barely registers. Your muscles need a stronger signal, more protein, just to maintain what they already have. And if they don't get it, your body starts breaking down muscle tissue for amino acids. Less muscle, slower metabolism, more fat storage, especially around the midsection. The research is clear on this. Women over 40 need at least 30 grams of protein per meal. Not per day, per meal. That's not a sprinkle of almonds on your salad. That's a chicken breast, 3 eggs, a cup of Greek yogurt with a scoop of protein powder. Most women are getting maybe 10 to 15 grams at breakfast. Toast, cereal, a smoothie bowl, and wondering why they're hungry 2 hours later and the scale won't move. Your body isn't asking for less food, it's asking for different food. More protein at every meal is the single most powerful lever you can pull for your metabolism after 40, period. Now let's talk about the hormone that's quietly undoing all your effort. You're eating clean, you're moving more, and yet the belly won't budge. You blame willpower, you blame your age, you blame yourself. It's not willpower, it's cortisol. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and after 40, when you're balancing work, family, aging parents, and the invisible load of everything else, cortisol doesn't just spike, it stays elevated, day after day, week after week. Here's what cortisol does to your body specifically. First, it signals your fat cells, especially the ones around your midsection, to open up and accept more storage. It literally tells your body, store fat here. Second, at the same time, cortisol breaks down muscle tissue for quick energy. So you're losing the tissue that burns calories, and you're gaining fat where you least want it. Third, elevated cortisol messes with insulin sensitivity. Your cells start resisting insulin, which means more glucose stays in your bloodstream, which means more gets stored as fat. It's a triple assault, and you're fighting it with willpower, counting calories, forcing yourself through HIIT workouts, while your hormones are working against you every step of the way. The fix isn't a diet. The fix is regulating your cortisol rhythm, and that starts with when you eat, how you move, and how you sleep. Everyone's chasing HIIT, boot camps, and intense cardio to burn off the weight. And here's the uncomfortable truth. For a lot of women over 40, that approach is making things worse. High-intensity exercise spikes cortisol. If your cortisol is already elevated from chronic stress, adding more cortisol through exercise is like throwing gasoline on a fire. Your body reads the stress signal and holds onto fat, especially belly fat, as a survival mechanism. The most underrated fat loss tool after 40 is walking, specifically walking after meals. Here's why. After you eat, your blood sugar rises. Your body releases insulin to shuttle that glucose into your cells. A 10 to 15-minute walk right after a meal increases glucose uptake by your muscles without requiring more insulin. That means less insulin circulating, less fat storage signaling, and a gentler metabolic response overall. Walking also lowers cortisol. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode, instead of your sympathetic fight or flight mode. 10 minutes after each meal. That's 30 minutes a day. No gym, no equipment, no beast mode, just walking. It works because it works with your hormones instead of against them. You can eat perfectly. You can walk after every meal. And you can still gain weight if you're not sleeping. Here's the science. One night of poor sleep, we're talking less than 6 hours, raises your ghrelin levels by up to 28%. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. It's the signal that says, eat. At the same time, one bad night drops your leptin by 18%. Leptin is the hormone that tells you you're full. So after a bad night, you're hungrier, you crave more calorie-dense food, and your body doesn't register fullness the same way. And then cortisol enters the picture again. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol, which we already know stores belly fat and breaks down muscle. So after one bad night of sleep, you're fighting a 4-hormone ambush. Higher ghrelin making you hungrier, lower leptin failing to tell you you're full, elevated insulin from the carbohydrate-heavy food you're craving, and spiked cortisol telling your body to store it all as belly fat. You will not win that fight with willpower. No one does. Prioritize sleep like it's a workout. Same time, same consistency. 7 hours minimum. Not negotiable. Your metabolism depends on it. So let's bring this together. After 40, weight loss stops being about calories in, calories out. It becomes a signaling game. Your body is responding to hormonal signals, and you need to send the right ones. Signal 1, protein, tells your body to preserve muscle instead of burning it. 30 grams per meal, that's the target. Signal 2, movement after meals. A 10-minute walk tells your cells to absorb glucose without a big insulin spike. It tells your cortisol to come down. It tells your body, we're not in danger. We don't need to store fat. Signal 3, sleep and stress management. 7 hours minimum. A 5-minute brain dump before bed to get unfinished tasks out of your head. Morning sunlight within 30 minutes of waking to set your cortisol rhythm for the day. That's it. More protein at every meal. A walk after eating. Protect your sleep. Do these 3 things consistently for 2 weeks. Your body after 40 isn't broken. It just needs different signals than it did at 30. And once you send those signals, consistently, patiently, your body responds. Not because you punished yourself with restriction and workout plans you dread, because you gave it what it actually needed. If this resonated, you don't need another diet. You need a framework that works with your body instead of against it. That's what this channel is for. Science-backed health and wellness for women over 40. No fluff, no restriction culture, no just try harder. Subscribe and hit the bell. I release new videos every week. And if you know someone who's been frustrated with weight loss after 40, send this to them. We're all figuring this out together.